this, the very first episode of Drive Nova Scotia, you find us starting our day in the picturesque and quaint fishing village of Scotts Bay, Nova Scotia.
Hi, my name's John. Welcome to Drive Nova Scotia. We have a challenge on the go. Me and my friend Sean, who hopefully will be arriving soon, we're given $700 to buy a car and meet here. This is what I have. A 1998 Subaru Impreza. About 225,000 clicks on it. It's full of rust, makes some funny sounds, burns some oil, so it's a pretty good car. Later on today we have a supper appointment at Curly Portable's Pub and Grub in Enfield, right around 5 o'clock. So we're going to try to get there, do some challenges on the way, and see if both cars make it. I wonder where Sean is. Ah, yes. That's magnificent. I didn't know they made these in diesel. What do you got here?
That is, my friend, a 1997 Ford Escort wagon.
Yes,
141,000 kilometers on it.
Woo! That sounds a lot lower than the engine would indicate with the noises that it makes.
It does make a few noises.
I do like the stealth black.
That was a custom option on this year.
That's very, very classy. I like it. So let me tell you a little bit about what needed to be done to this thing to make it road legal. Because really you can't buy a car on our budget and have it be perfectly road legal. Just not in this province. So what I had to do was pull the entire rear of the car out, glue it all together, and stick it back in because it had rusted so badly it was no longer structurally safe. There's a really, really high quality use of filler and cans of spray paint involved, which makes it a lovely job. Mechanically though, the car was pretty good. It has brakes, it steers, starts, stops, all that stuff. Not bad. Okay.
Well, this unit here, cosmetically, it's terrible.
No, it's gorgeous.
It's got a real nice custom paint job, the runs and the drips.
Yeah.
Mechanically, it's terrible.
Yeah.
The engine is sounds like it's about to launch out from underneath the hood. Hopefully that'll last at least a day. The transmission was slipping really, really bad.
Sweet.
When I got it.
Yeah.
Mirror here. It's got some custom hockey tape holding it on.
Oh, yes.
So hopefully...
That must have been an option.
That was also a factory option on this unit.
Very good.
The muffler was rotted into about 4 different pieces. So
nice.
that had to be replaced.
Nice.
Other than that, though, it drives. It's not very comfortable. It makes a lot of noise, but it works.
No, that's good. I still like the stealth black. I could dig that.
Yeah.
And the brush marks really set it off.
The brush marks are definitely would really bring it all together.
There's a rolling piece of art, I'm sure. It's a piece of something anyway.
Piece of something.
Awesome. Shall we hit the road and see if they last a little ways?
Let's see how far we can get.
Cool.
On the first leg of our journey, we were fortunate enough to come across the Look-Off, which affords a beautiful view of the Annapolis Valley we were about to drive across. It was such a nice view, in fact, that we stopped to enjoy it for a minute, before heading down the North Mountain and across the valley floor. Over in the stealth wagon, Sean got the occasional reminder of the quality and condition of his transmission.
Shift. Thank you. notice how attached you are to your iPod until you drive a car that has a cassette deck. Luckily, while cleaning the car, I did manage to find an Alan Jackson cassette. So that'll be a treat later.
The ridge road along the spine of the South Mountain gives us the perfect vantage point to survey across the valley again from the other side, and to look at the North Mountain where we had come from earlier.
There's a variety of assorted reasons why you may or may not like somebody. Today, I don't like Sean very much because I know he has air conditioning in his car and he's not melting to pieces. Because it's about 27 degrees before humidity today. I might add that I don't just not have air conditioning that works. The car didn't even come with air conditioning because it's the super basic model. It's hot.
As we descended from the South Mountain down into Wolf Hill, we both made some strikingly similar observations.
These Wolf Hill roads, these are pretty awesome.
I've been on dirt roads better than this.
Here we are at our first challenge location, Acadia University in Wolf Hill, Nova Scotia. It's a beautiful day. And here comes the challenge. Thank you. Let's see what this is here. When you have an old cheap car, it seems that you end up helping your friends move a lot. In this challenge, you will load all of the cargo into your car without using the front seat space or outside of the car, drive over the pretend garage, and back in without hitting any traffic cones. Time counts and you lose points for crushing cones or leaving cargo behind. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Ready?
The next leg of our journey took us along the shore of the Bay of Fundy, on scenic Highway 215, just a few kilometers down the shore from where the highest tides in the world were measured.
Here we are at our next location, the Walton Lighthouse and Lookoff in Walton, East Hants, Nova Scotia. I think it's about time for another challenge. Thank you. Let's see what this says. This says the Walton Lighthouse is the oldest original lighthouse in this part of Nova Scotia. If it can withstand being here since 1873, how much of the original equipment still works in your cars after a few short years? Each of you has 2 minutes to check the other person's car to determine what does and what does not work. The point goes to whoever has the least broken equipment. I think we can do that.
Go.
Awesome. We have stereo. Yep, stereo.
Yep. Okay, that works.
Oh, get one busted map light. Let's try. Oh, power mirror. Oh, that doesn't.
No buttons over here.
That doesn't sound right.
It's got a deck that does nothing.
About a minute into this 2-minute challenge, I was still hunting away in the interior of the Ford, checking out optional power things and features. But Sean really had run out of stuff to check in the Subaru and was starting to get kind of bored. The interior of that thing is so Spartan that basically all it has is a stereo and power mirrors.
Well, it really doesn't have anything else.
Stop.
Due to our working schedules and a pretty crap run of weather recently, it took us a while to get back to filming the show, as is evidenced by this lovely fall drive to the location of our final challenge.
Here we are at a top secret testing location just off of Route 14 in East Hants, and we have another challenge. We ran out of budget for our fake scientist, so I just have the envelope here. Let's see what this says. This says, it's always nice to get a little bit of performance fun for your dollar. It's true. You will accelerate from a stop here, go around the slalom there, and get back across this line as quickly as possible. Lowest time wins the point. Sounds like fun.
Makes sense.
Let's try that out. 3, 2, 1, go! So we did make it to Curly Portable's Pub and Grub here across the road. Had a lovely revitalizing meal and drink. But then we realized that we needed to do another day of shooting to finish our show. So that's why you have some continuity errors in the clothing and such, because this is 2 months later. Anyway, we did make it here. We shot some challenges, had a good time.
Definitely had a good time.
Had a good time. But now it's time for the nitty-gritty, where we actually tally up some points on our handy-dandy chalkboard over here. So, as we saw earlier in the film, for the cargo loading challenge, Sean got me on that one. He beat me by like 10 seconds, so he gets a point there for the Ford.
And a big 0 for the Subaru on that
Big
one.
fat 0. And then you saw us out at the Walton Lighthouse where we counted up the faults in each other's cars. And I believe the Ford had 2 faults and the Subaru had 1, giving the Subaru the point on that challenge. And a big fat 0 for the Ford.
It's not as fat as your 0.
That's probably fair. So for the slalom, the performance challenge, the Subaru managed to pip that one by about a second, I believe.
Second and a half.
Second and a half over the Ford, probably mostly from the all-wheel drive launches.
That's not surprising.
Not really a shocker, no. What's more surprising is that after a lot of this traveling around doing the same driving on the same roads together, we tallied up our mileage. And Sean here has the smaller, lower powered 4-cylinder, and he managed about an 8 liters per 100 kilometers. And the big thirsty 2.2 here with the all-wheel drive system pulled 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. I don't know why, it's just how it worked out. So we get a point on mileage for the old Subaru.
Well, I can tell you exactly why that happened.
Why is that?
Because I have air conditioning,
Oh,
and you do not.
That's true.
So really, I lost a point, but I didn't almost die that first day.
It's true, yeah. If I, the rules say I can't give you the point, so sorry. Last thing to tally up, of course, is the price. Price is a big deal when you're budgeting for under $700 for a car. And let me tell you that the marketplace in the under $700 cars is interesting and horrible and really difficult.
And often illegal.
And mostly illegal. But we managed to get 2. I came in under my budget of $700 at about $625 after I did some repairs. $450 initial purchase price, then a bunch of repairs and stuff, supplies and things. So I came in at about $625.
This unit came in at about $500 that I paid for this after very minor repairs, and most of those were not needed repairs for drivability, but more needed to be able to film. The muffler was completely missing. So I could have driven it like that, but you would have no audio quality whatsoever.
That would have sucked.
Also, the transmission was slipping so bad I had to do a fluid change on that, which came to about $40 for bits. So that brings my total to about $610.
Looks like that's another point for the Ford.
Which would be a nice big point for the Ford.
Yeah, big fat 0 for the Subaru.
Unfortunately, doing some math.
Yeah, let's do a little quick tally. I see 1 and 2 points on the Ford.
Yep.
3 for the Subaru.
Yep.
That looks like a victory for Japanese engineering.
Yep.
Even though this is mostly a Japanese car anyway.
Mostly.
I guess that's it. That's a good deal. Subaru wins it. Would I recommend buying a car for $450 and fixing it up? No. Not unless you're doing it as a hobby or just for the fun of it. I wouldn't really recommend it as a practical driving solution. But since it is fun for us to do stupid things like that with cars, good time had by all.
Yes, definitely.
Good job. See you next time we do something silly with cars.